It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely a different type of process.
Cut down or freeze up.
Being a coach's son.
Jackson, of course, they keep retooling. One stolen base, a hit by pitch. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast, baseball talk, Missouri style, powered by Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. We are heading to the World Series, folks. A lot of fun. There's a tournament this weekend, but next Tuesday, it is Tuesday, correct, Drew? No, yes, next Tuesday. We're doing a big bash. We're doing our summer bash with our great partners, Game 7 Baseball, and our wonderful partners over at Prime Sports Midwest at the St. Peter's location at 7505 Mexico Road. We've got a live event, 2 hours, 5 to 7. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's a big bash. We're going to celebrate heading towards the World Series, which is next week. We're going to have some hit tracks fun. We're going to give away some baseball cards. We've got some other surprising stuff coming up, some giveaways. Hey, Prime Sports has got some great discounts on some of the bats for you. We're going to be letting you know what's going on. Summer Bash starting next Tuesday at Prime Sports Midwest in St. Peter's. Don't miss it. Come on out, hang out. We may even get you on the podcast. We're going to be live from 6 to 7. We'll make you famous, so all that kind of stuff. We'll have some fun. So we got this coming up. We got 4 Summer Bash events coming up at the Prime Sports Midwest this summer, so don't miss it. We're looking forward to it. Thank you very much. All right, today, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. Hit that dinger next to it. It gets you notifications for upcoming episodes such as this. We appreciate your support, and today I've got 2 special guests. We were with them last Saturday. I appreciate the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association allowing us to come out and live stream from Southern Boone High School. And we have first only 3-time championship coach in 3 different classifications. Head coach of the Southern Boone Eagles, there it is, Brian Ash. Coach, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brian. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And the gentleman that worked very closely with us with the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association, coach from Ray Peck. There it is. That's Ray more peculiar, too. Dave Hix. Dave, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're talking all-state teams today, and you guys just released the all-state selections, and I thought, what a great opportunity to sit down and chat about these. We're missing Mr. Mulder. He is working his tail off. He's doing what he's doing with his prep baseball. He's going to be out of town for a couple weeks, so we'll hopefully see him in a few weeks and talk some baseball. But today, gentlemen, how hard is it, first and foremost? We'll start here, Brian, with you, because it's the first time I was privy to this. I saw all that. How hard is it to select these teams, first and foremost?
Well, it's very difficult. It's kind of a 3-layered part, if you want to put it in that way. One, coaches have to be members of our association. So in order for you to nominate a kid, you have to be a member. Okay, so that's the first layer. This year, I can tell you, I think the record for memberships was 55 coaches. I think this year we were up to 606, which is obviously a good thing. So we're getting representation, not only from our coaches, but the idea is to get representation throughout the state. So obviously, the more coaches you have, then obviously you're going to have a better mix of players that you're actually nominating. So, and you're getting, regional selections, not just the Kansas City.
Well, let's get back to this. I know we'll come back to Coach Ash. We're having some trouble with the feed here, but let's talk about the All-Star event as it is. And I know you're in charge of this. Brian, how you doing there? You doing okay? Nope, still not yet. Let's we're looking at this as far as how we put ourselves in a position to make this event as big and grandiose as possible. I think that was such a fun day watching all these kids play baseball, coming to getting to know them, where are they going, what this experience is for them, their 4 years of high school. It's kind of that culmination, a little bit of celebration of that overall, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is everything we do as the association is all about the kids and the players and promoting the game of baseball. And, that is just like, that's the final event for the school year. And yeah, I mean, we celebrate those seniors that have put in 4 years of hard work and get rewarded by getting to go play in that. And, it was, I tell you what, I had so much fun Saturday. I was able to actually get down there and sit in the dugout, a couple of games and talk to some of these kids, and they were just so appreciative of the opportunity to come do that, especially at the lower classes, and we played on college campuses before, and but you know what, it doesn't make any difference where you're playing as long as you got 90 feet and 60 feet six, and you're playing with the best players in the state. That's a big time thing for them. And I think some of them, I was watching the class 3-4 game today, and Bo Carrier from Dexter. Your interview with him was unbelievable. He's like, he goes, we thought we were pretty good, and then we get out here and see all this other talent and get a chance to play with people we've never seen before and teams we've never seen. So that's what it's all about, getting them exposed out there and letting them see what it's all about.
Absolutely. And, you talk about class 3, you had the kids from Lone Jack. I love the fact that Ethan Rogers, who's going to Wichita State, is getting some love, on the one side of things. Showed up, played, pitched. Class 5, Jordan Martin. I know he didn't pitch. He's like, no, he says, I'm in this, but I wanted to come and I wanted to just play baseball. And he swung the bat, and he was a big part of that win for class 5.
Yeah. And he was in the running for MVP. They had a tough decision on that class 5 MVP between him and,
Cade Monick, right? Cade
Monick. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And, so yeah, and the Mosier kid from Rockwood Summit who showed up with a broken ankle, and he was out there tossing around and talking to guys, and he just had a good time with it. So, in fact, he came up to me and said, "Hey, I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to come here." So I said, that's always there. So yeah,
I loved it. I love the fact that these kids, and I think that's the way, we were talking, as why some of these kids aren't showing up, especially in the upper classes. I know you got big time you on your mind and all that kind of thing, but this is a celebration. You've worked 4 years and you've worked hard to be part of this. And there's a lot of, I love the fact Jordan Martin shows up just to have some fun one last time,
Yep.
just to enjoy the moment, which is what baseball should be, right, Dave?
Right. Yeah. Oh, agreed. Oh, and by the way, that class 5 MVP was Alex Alsop.
That's right. Alex Alsop. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Monig was a class 1. Yeah.
Class 1.
Yeah.
I know. I don't
I
even
got
know
names run through my head still from the last month, but yeah.
Because Alsop was nails, boy. He came out and pitched, and he's on his way. And we were talking before we started. There's a lot of kids that declined because, hey, my college coach wanted me to go play here, or my high school, or my, I'm going to go play something. Look, and I know that, college coaches, I understand it's whatnot, but I think these college coaches have to come to a place where, look, I appreciate the fact that you want to get the kids on campus, and I know there's these things and whatnot, but why don't we let these kids finish out their senior year? Why don't we let them be celebrated for what they've accomplished before it turns into a job? Which you go to this college campus, man, it becomes a job. And I know a lot of these kids want to get on the campus and want to get acclimated and whatnot, but an extra day or two is not going to matter that much.
Right.
I didn't, class 5, class 6, there was some kids that were there that were fantastic as far as those things go. But, you look at some of the top kids that we didn't see that I thought would have been fantastic. And I'm sure you put out invitations to these seniors, correct?
Yes. Ashton Nance from Blue Springs South was one. Let me go back through my original class 6 list here, because I've got like 3 lists going here from that night. Thank goodness I kept them. Class 6. Get over here. And yeah, there was like 30. I want to say 32 nominations for class 6, which is not enough. Now, I will say this. I know that there are some coaches that will ask their kid, "Hey, I want to put you up for this. Are you going to show up and play?" And if they say no, then the coach doesn't nominate them, and that's fine. I appreciate that. But then there are some, not many, that I'll be there, and then things happen and they end up turning it down. Tyler Wood was another one from Lee Summit West. Jackson Gamble from Nixa. Colin Kelly from Nixa. Drew Eckhoff from Borgia. Caden Cloud from Nixa. James Unwin from SLU.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cooper Pumphrey from Ozark. He is going to Mizzou, and he emailed me and said he's been having a little bit of an arm issue, and he's a PO, so he declined at the last second.
And I understand that. I understand those.
Oh yeah. By all means,
that.
yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to the Staley guys, Brody Earlbeck, Evan Abbott, showing up, being part of that team. Got a chance to talk to Brody Earlbeck again there at the game. We were interviewing him live on the show. One of your guys, Keaton Scrivener, shows up there. I loved that. You had guys throughout this whole process that I thought was pretty cool that showed up and giving them a lot of credit for coming out and being part of that event. I think it was a lot of fun and an enjoyable situation for most of these kids.
Yes. And I think, sometimes they most of them go play at pretty high level in the summertime. So they're traveling around seeing, some good talent. But when they see what's in this state in one place, I think it's a little bit awe-inspiring for some of them too. Like, oh my gosh, I'm here with the best players in the state, and I'm going to go have a blast. And I'm going to, talk to these guys that I played against or have heard about. And
I'd just like to get some of your thoughts on this, Brian, the conversation that we're talking about here. What's your thoughts on this?
With the All-Star Games?
With the All-Star Games, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Dave was spot on. I think if I recall right, I think 3 out of the last 4 years we've had the Gatorade Player of the Year. I think it started with Carson Milbrandt, Tate McGuire. Now you got Jordan Martin, and then obviously Brody Earlbeck was our PBR Player of the Year. So for those guys to show up, I just think you hit it on the head there, Brian. Like, those guys just want to go play baseball. They've gotten so much attention. There's so much pressure on these guys to win at a high level. For them to come compete with guys that they've played against throughout their 4 years of high school and even prior to that in youth baseball, I think it kind of brings it back to just that old schoolyard kind of baseball. And I think in the root of it all, like that's kind of what this senior all-star game's about. Come have fun. Everybody's going to hit. You're going to be able to play multiple positions. Just, put on a nice little those that come out and watch.
Absolutely. And I hope that as we continue to promote this, we're going to get more attention to that, more opportunities. And I love the fact that these Gatorade players are PBR, and I saw Brody got the PBR Player of the Year. Let's follow that up. Let's get some of those talents out here. Let's showcase what Missouri talent is all about. And I think that's the opportunity as well. Getting all these kids, maybe even if you can, if you play a half an inning, you get one at bat and you come and we can celebrate the fact of the accomplishments of these kids and just the work that they've put in to get where they're at. I think that to me is what this should be about. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it is. And, in that Class 6 game, I found this out after the fact that, it's free substitution. So those guys can trade in and out whenever. And one of the, I don't even remember who it was now. Somebody came up with the idea of, hey, outfielders, you go play the infield and the infielders go play the outfield for the last couple innings. And they did it, and that Deanie's a second baseman from Truman. He made that throw to the plate to nail that kid. And, those are the things that they will remember from that game, is doing things like that.
Absolutely. And I loved the Chinese fire drill from Class 5 in the last inning. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
After they made an out, they just switched. Everybody just switched. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. It was fantastic. Those are things, you haven't seen that since you were like 12.
Right.
And it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. I want to come back to this. We're going to talk about the All-State teams and whatnot. And I know we had some trouble. Coach Ash was talking about the layers that are involved in here. And this last layer that you've been talking about, Coach, that puts a lot of emphasis here on these selections. Go ahead and share with the folks.
So, obviously, you want as good a representation throughout the state. You don't want it, log jammed with schools and players, because there's really good players, but there's good players across the state. So when you got, and there are kids who are all-state caliber that did not make the team. And I want to preface that, because there are great players out there that didn't make it. But when you start deciphering through all of the information that the coaches are deciphering, I think part of that is looking at, strength of schedule, time plays into that. You have a lower batting average than a kid, but maybe played a little tougher of a schedule, so you're seeing better quality arms. That does take in consideration on that. But it's difficult. And I think it's important when the coaches show up, they're able to represent their region, because if a coach does not show up to the meeting, nominated a kid, there only may be a couple coaches in there that can really speak on that young man. And where the rest of us don't know the kid, we haven't seen him play, we're just looking at stats. So everything's very subjective. And that is, when you're dealing with subjectivity, that's difficult. And so we do the best we can to select an all-state team. Is it 1,000% bomb-proof and correct? No, it's not. And I want to make sure that we understand that, because there's kids that didn't make all-state that are all-state caliber kids, and but you to select them. And I will say this: I could on Class 4. There was probably close to 50 coaches in the room. And it was great, because everybody was able to talk about every single kid that was nominated. There was not one kid that did not get talked about, and in some very thoroughness on the type of player they are. So, but once you start going back, you're selecting X amount of pitchers, of infielders, outfielders, DH, utility. and then you narrow it down to the all-state team, and you've got 3 teams: first team, second team, honorable mention. And a lot of times where the conversations really get difficult is you got a lot of coaches that think a kid should be a first teamer versus a second teamer, and you'll narrow it down to, okay, who's our top 5 infielders, state of Missouri? Are they all interchangeable, first to second to honorable mention? Yeah, probably. I mean, they really are if you really get down to it. So, to me, I really think you make an all-state team, whether you're honorable mention or first team. At the end of the day, you're an all-state, and that's really what we're trying to accomplish, is make sure we're recognizing those kids that are best of the best.
Absolutely. Dave, I thought you did a great job here because we look at in Class 1 from the all-state selections: Caden Monick, second team pitcher; Gage Killian, second team; Justin Gregory, honorable mention; John Rubel. Those 4 pitchers were at the All-Star game. In the catchers, we had Logan Moran from Lakeland, first team All-State. Caden, I believe that's Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Yes.
My tongue quit working. And in honorable mention, Case and Gaston. So you had everybody represented there from Lakeland, Bramer, and Summersville. We had 3 second team guys on the infield: Grady Herska, Andrew Doherty, and Jordan Haley. Atlanta represented Wheatland, who was in the Final Four, in Bramer High School. Outfield, yeah, Joe Heater, which is Joe Heater. Joe ought to be a pitcher, though, man, with that last name.
Yeah. Well, and there was another kid. There was another kid that I saw on the from New Heights, maybe Class 2, Smoke Ezell. That's another great name,
right?
Yeah.
You can't make that
Joe
up.
Heater throwing to Smoke Ezell, and he was a catcher too. So
I love that, man. I love that. That's fantastic.
yeah, of the all-staters, I was looking last night. 14 all-staters on that Class 1 team, and 12 of them were there. So
Absolutely,
that was good turnout.
That's fantastic. I love seeing that. There's some first team, St. Elizabeth, of course, the state champs. Brian well represented, or ran right there as well. Northland Christian, Faith Christian, well represented. Some Wheatland. These are teams that I love. The Wellington Napoleon. All throughout the state, there was a lot. Here's one, like I said, I've never heard of Otterville, Missouri.
That's just east of Sedalia. I think there's about 12 people there.
I mean, so I'm going to give a shout out to Braden Eads, the senior, making the all-state team Class 1, Otterville. Who were some of the guys that stood out for you there, Brian?
Well, in the Class 1, I can't speak on all the other classes because I'm running the all-state meeting, so I didn't get to watch any of the senior game for some of that stuff. But the ones that stick out in my mind, obviously, because I'm Central Missouri, but obviously Elizabeth was rated over the last 6 years. I've seen those kids play. Both Kimno boys. Obviously, Gavin Williams was the Class 1 Player of the Year. Those guys really, really stick out. Obviously, Oran is another perennial power. But yeah, the St. E guys really stick out. Just the type of ball players they are. The community really embraces the baseball program and all their sports, and obviously their record and their history in the last 6 years have proven that they're a team that can really play against anybody. They were in the Columbia tournament playing against Class 5, 6 schools this year, and I don't know if they won a game, but they were in some ball games. You're playing Willards and the Staleys of the world, which they did play, and they were hung with them. I mean, that just knew that some of these small town players are really high level players. They're just, they're at a smaller school. So, those just come to my mind right off the bat because they're a little bit more local to me. But unfortunately, I didn't get to watch a lot of the senior all-star stuff because I was running all state meetings.
St. Elizabeth, Gavin Williams, Player of the Year. How does that get selected, Dave?
That would be a question for Brian. For
Oh,
the Player
okay.
of the Year.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. So the Player of the Year, we started doing this last year. We've always selected a Player of the Year association, and we recognize her at our conference that we have in January. And so last year we wanted to do a class Player of the Year for each class, so 6 Players of the Year, and then our executive board, which is I'm a part of that, we select an overall MHSBCA Player of the Year based on each one of those kids that were nominated for their class. So that's kind of how that works. But the Coach League, you nominate like example class 4 for us was Brennan Goring from St. Charles. We had 6 nominations of players. Every one of those coaches were there, nominated a kid, and they were all very deserving. So basically what we did is we just went around coaches that were in attendance, which I said, like, it's probably close to, and we voted, and they turned their paper in, and we just kind of tallied it up, and Brennan Goring by 2 votes won our class 4 Player of the Year. So every class did that. You're ultimately trying to find the best player. Typically the kid that is a utility type kid, I would say, especially at the smaller schools, because they're probably your best hitter, but then they're also probably your best pitcher as well. You see that a lot, especially at the smaller schools. Brody Earlbeck was Player of the Year at 6, and he was a two-way guy, and just a phenomenal talent. I don't have the sheet in front of me, but I'm pretty sure County 1-5. You mentioned Heath Rogers on class 3. Class 2, again, I off my head who won class 2, but that's kind of how it goes about as far as picking the player here. So we'll meet together in November, and the executive board will actually compile all the names. We'll have all the stats, obviously level of competition and the things that those kids provide. We'll pick an overall player here. We'll invite that player to our conference in January.
So we're going to go through this. We're going to, so class 1, as we said, St. Elizabeth, Gavin Williams is the Player of the Year. In class 2, there's some notables from the All-Star game that were there. Lucas Cashman was a first-team All-Stater, pitcher from Tipton. Easton Fowler, which I really enjoyed watching him play, Dave, senior from Chaffee, the catcher. That young man.
Yeah, he was good.
I mean, you don't see too many catchers with this kind of speed either.
No.
That's so, Chris Gabbard from Maysville, Will Crumpley from Marionville, Cooper Harvey, who we've seen with Washington Post 218 out of Westran High School. He's listed as a catcher. And then we have Wyatt Dukas, Wyatt Dukas from Crest Ridge, Dylan Willis from Maysville, Jackson Burney from Crocker, all first team infield, along with Jace Walker from New Heights Christian Academy, honorable mention. Vincent Dale, or Vince, as he goes by, Scotland County senior. What was interesting is we were live streaming the Premier Collegiate Developmental League for Brett Graves at Carshield Field, and this young man works with Brett Graves. His pitching development, whatnot, speaks very highly of him. This was a very nice young man. Enjoyed speaking with him. I love to see this because you see it. Here's this class 2 kid who is, for one, a heck of a good baseball player. 2, very articulate. Really enjoyed the conversation. had that head on straight, knew exactly where he was going, what he was doing, and so it's really a tribute to the overall scope of all classes. Small town, but hey, this kid, you never know. This is the kid that may pop up on the radar all of a sudden. You see one day on the mound or in the outfield, and you're like, hey, I saw that kid play high school baseball. Who knew? It's a small town kid. It's like in the major leagues. Mason Morris, Putnam County, Ike DeMuth, another kid from Harrisburg that played very well. And
he was the MVP of that game too.
Yes, he was. Player of the year for Class 2 out of Miller High School, the state champions, which sounds right, Jace Wilkinson. And so Miller got on a run, won the state title, and Jace Wilkinson is the player of the year. Class 3, again.
If I can add something there, Brian, that Jace Wilkinson, he's only a sophomore too. So he's got 2 more years to.
Oh, did I mess that up?
Outstanding stuff. No, it was just not mentioned. I just noticed he was a sophomore. I'm like, man, that's Miller may make another run next year.
Youthful. I was thinking of one of the kids playing in the All-Star game. No. Okay, cool. Yeah, just a sophomore. Class 3, dominating. There were some really good baseball teams, of course. All the kids from Lone Jack, Ethan Rogers, Clayton Layden at the top there, pitching-wise. What I thought was really outstanding for the All-Star team, Dave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 All-State arms on that roster. Brock Boatwright from Fairgrove, Clayton Layden from Lone Jack, who I thought Clayton Layden pitched very well, the lefty. He's really good. Gavin Reese from Liberty Mountain View, one of the best logos in the state. It was killer. Tucker Jones out of South Callaway, Gavin Hubbard from Valley Park, and Preston Raines from Stockton. That's a good pitching staff right there.
How'd you like to take those 7 guys and go play all summer?
Pick me, I'll take that, right?
It'd be
Coach, Coach Ash is going, can I have some of that?
Absolutely.
Julian Tebow, West County kid down here south of St. Louis area. Really enjoyed talking with him. Landon Danuser, Lone Jack, second team catchers. They're playing ball. Cannon Buckner from Licking. Hudson Dunlap, West County. Ethan Edwards, South Callaway, infield all-stars. Brett Nicholson from Lone Jack. Eli Sitzer from Pembroke Hill, which they had a really good season. They were a team that I hadn't heard of before. But, man, they were winning a lot of baseball games, Coach.
Yeah, they knocked off Lone Jack in the district championship. So, and by the way, Julian Tebow was the MVP of that game of the Class 3 as well.
There you go. Easton Hubbard from Stockton. And, of course, as Coach Ash alluded to, Ethan Rogers, the senior from Lone Jack, was the player of the year. Wichita State. And we were talking about this earlier, Coach Ash. Here's a young man headed to big time U. I know it's not the SEC or whatnot, but Wichita State, it's Division I program. I think it's Conference USA. He comes out, shows up at the All-Star game, throws an inning. He got started. He told the coach, I want to start. Boom. Absolutely, let's do it. I have a lot of respect for that kid.
Absolutely. I mean, regardless of what class he is, he's one of the best players in the state. So let's get that out right now. For him, I think it was cool. Some of those kids, they have that competitive desire. They want to go out and, he obviously is a high level pitcher. He probably wanted to go out and have that last little high school level experience on the mound before real form at Wichita State. So really cool to see. He pitched against the Class 4. I did get down there and watch a little bit of that. I had 3 players in it. So I kind of wanted to watch that matchup. I was a little late getting there, so I didn't see from what I heard from the other play out there with Ethan. So, and I've had an opportunity to watch Ethan down in Georgia at the future games, the PBR future games, and you're really going against the best of the best down there, and he excelled very, very well. I think this was his sophomore year when he did this, so I wasn't shocked at the kind of career and the year he had, because I knew what kind of guy he was and player he was. So kudos to him, and big shout out to Dustin Darby. He's a good friend of mine at Lone Jack. He's done a great job building that program, and again, for a kid like that to show up to the All-Star game, the Jordan Martins and Earl Becks and made it, I think it really puts a little bit more, I guess, line on our association and the good things that we're actually doing.
Absolutely. And
and Ethan Rogers may not make it to Wichita State because he's probably going to go in the draft here.
That is accurate. Yeah, that is accurate.
And I was hearing somewhere between 3rd and 6th round. I think it was what he was, and I was listening to him in the dugout down there talking to another coach, and he was talking about where all he's got to go this week to throw for major league teams. He's got to go to Chicago to throw for 2 or 3 teams there, and he's going to somewhere else to throw for somebody else and going to somebody else's workout. So Wichita State may not get him. Which I'm a Missouri State guy, so I'm okay with that.
So Class 4, Coach Asher's wheelhouse here. Ryan Sowden came in from Fredericktown, pitcher. Really enjoyed watching him play. He's a first teamer. Cade Baum from Moberly, honorable mention there. On the second team catchers, Easton Wood from Fredericktown came in. Justin Case from Fulton was there. We had Jackson Angle there from Moberly. Really enjoy watching Jackson play. Jack Burley, that's head coach at Warrenton. Eric Burley's son. He played at Duchesne High School. Landon Nolan from Savannah. Brennan Gehring was there, and of course the Player of the Year. And we've gotten to know. I've watched Brennan Gehring play since he was a freshman on that team, and watched him grow and whatnot. That's one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. One of the best kids. Just a really interesting young man to talk to. I felt, it's one of the I don't root a lot. I other than for Fort Zumwalt East. Everybody knows that. I try to stay back and just leave things are, but it really hurt. I went to the district game just to kind of cover it between Duchesne and St. Charles West. And that Duchesne team was really good. They won the game 2-1. Jack Burley had a home run, had another RBI. It was the 2 runs that beat St. Charles West, and Gehring was on the mound. Pitched well, had a good day at the plate, and he hit just an absolute rocket back at the pitcher for Duchesne, who was just like caught it and didn't know he caught it until he looked in his glove, kind of thing. And seeing him after the game, I kind of hurt for him. That was one of the ones that was just kind of like, wow, that was tough for me. I was like, I had to get myself together. Because a lot of those kids from Matt Box, Brady Kilker, Adam Kalk, I've watched since their freshman year, and it's a good group of kids, and I really enjoyed talking with them quite a bit. So, congratulations to Brennan Gehring for being the Player of the Year here in Missouri. So, kudos to that young man. Got to keep an eye on him. And I see an Ash here in the second team as a freshman, Southern Boone. People say, oh, there it is. No, man, this young man has, there's a lot of buzz about your son there, Coach. I know it's hard to talk about it like that sometimes, keep perspective and whatnot, but he is that kind of player, isn't he? I think he froze.
Right now he
There
is,
it
and the
is.
challenge to him is to obviously maintain that. Yeah, he's a good player, and I treat this whole situation like I treat any other of my players that I've had. So I've got to take the dad goggles off and put the coaching goggles on, and I feel able to do that, coaching him and anything that he gets. I hope people understand that's on his own accord. Not mine. So he's a great player. He'll continue to be good, and the good thing for me is I've got him for 3 more years, and we've got a really good young group of talent here at Southern Boone. So I'm really excited for what we have coming up. But yeah, all state, and then I was Braidman, a senior, the lone guy on our 22 state championship team. He's a second team utility. He had a tremendous for us offensively and on the mound, and he's going to go to state fair and do great things. And real proud of those guys represent our school. And then, like you mentioned, Jackson Eagle and Cade Dome and Billy, or sorry, I'm losing a blank here. Millie Bolton. There's a lot of mid-Missouri full talent. It's good to see those guys get represented, not only in the senior All-Star game, but also on the All-State teams.
Absolutely. Braden Beckman looked really good. I enjoyed watching him play. And a young man that's not going to be playing at the next level, he's moving on playing basketball, I believe it is, Jace Wren, who,
Yeah.
Dave, did he not make a couple of plays?
Oh, you know what? I saw the second one in person, and I thought that ball was down. Now I went back and was watching that game last night, and he made one early going toward right center. He made 2 diving catches, Ash. And I was like, somebody's like, how do you get to that? I'm like, well, shoot, he plays out there all the time. He ought to be used to it. He knows how to read it. That was
Yeah, that's that.
I know when I saw the list, I'm like, why is he not on there?
Oh, man.
Well, and I can tell you, Jace, yeah, and it's hard because you that he started for me this sophomore year, and defensively, Odessa is a game that really rings out that he made probably 3 plays there that really won us the baseball game at Odessa. But he did that all year long. He's always a defensive player, and Jace had a great year offensively too. He was kind of that borderline all-state type player. His numbers just didn't like the rest of the kids throughout the state. So, part of my job running the all-state meeting and also perspective, also as a coach with all the others in the state, as much as I'd have every one of my players recognized or kids around our area, that's not my job. My job is to try to help guide and give some information, which is there in the meeting, and really do a good job and do our due diligence to select the kids that are most deserving. And when you're in this, you have such this fond specialness and of each of your players, but they just can't. I mean, it's not how it works. But yeah, Jace is a great player. Logan Easley was an all-state player for us the year before, and he was 8-0. Logan was 6-2 this year. Just wasn't an all-star pitcher this year. He is an all-state player because he'll have that forever because he was the year before. So it's a difficult process. And I think all the coaches in the state of Missouri realize that. And unfortunately, you're going to have kids that get left off the all-state team that in a different year, maybe they do make it. But that's just, we try to do the best we can selecting that team.
I want to give a shout out to the kids from the Chillicothe Hornets who won the state championship in Class 4 that are all state recognized. That is Noah Reinhardt, the junior, so he'll be back as a second team all state pitcher. Then you had Howie Donahoe, sophomore. There you go. First team infielder from that squad. And then I'm looking here. I believe there's one more.
Cody Wagers.
There it is.
Wagers is First team pitcher, yeah.
Yeah,
Cody
Wagers.
Wagers. Cody Wagers, first team senior pitcher.
Yeah.
There you go. I knew I was missing one. I scrolled down. So shout out to Chillicothe State Championships. We're going to move to Class 5. We didn't have as much representation here. I love the fact that we had the pitchers, of course, we talked about in Class 5, Jordan Martin, Gabe Seavey, Alex Alsop, Ethan Lip was there, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, he was.
And
Yes, he was.
Carter Hollingsworth. So you had 5 all-state pitchers at the All-Star Games. So kudos to those young guys. And look, here's a kid that I hope some people get some look at. Now, we'll see how that moves through and whatnot. But Colin D. Sylvester, the senior from Warrenton High School, watched him play this year. This kid hit over 500 on the season. Played defense out of his mind, making play after play after play. He can pitch, he can throw, he can run, and I think he hit a triple in the All-Star game as well.
Yeah.
I hope he gets some look at the next level, because this is a kid I think that can really play baseball. Second team All-State, and he's behind some guys first team. Brennan McLaughlin, who, shout out to Brennan McLaughlin, is the player of the year for the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association in Class 5, and well-deserved. Had a fantastic run at the state championships, both in the semifinal and the state championship game. This young man was a one-man wrecking crew for Platte County. So kudos to him. Dayton Dahl from Platte County, also first team All-State. Trey Jozwickowski, who's going to UCM from Vianney, was there in that state champion Final Four. AJ Flam, the junior from St. Dominic, who AJ, as a junior, broke the all-time hits record at St. Dominic this year. We were there. I was there at that game. That was in the district championship against Fort Zumwalt East. So all next year, he's just going to be adding to that total. So it's pretty impressive to break that record in your junior year there at St. Dominic. So kudos to A.J. Flam. And then Braden Jensen from Marshfield, sophomore first team All-State. There's a lot of underclassmen on this Class 5 roster here, All-State, Brian. I think it looks very good for this group.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really good younger talent pool. Underclassmen make All-State, not all classes. So I think part of that is kids are playing at a little bit maybe higher level earlier. They're starting that earlier, which you can. Did I lose you there, Brian? Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, man. We understand you're dealing with
sorry.
That's all right. We're going to get through it. We're having some fun. Here's 2 kids at the top of this. There's 3 sophomores on the pitching. Evan Magnuson from Platte County, just a sophomore. That kid was nails at the state championship. Carter Martin, sophomore from Warrenton. And then Jace Badke from Marshfield, a sophomore. My goodness. Platte County's going to be tough for the next couple of years. They got Brooks Hall, honorable mention pitcher from Platte County, junior. My goodness. And I don't want to leave out Levi Hilton, who was nails for Willard for the last, 4 years. That young man had a great career at Willard High School. Kudos to him. So Class 5, I'm really impressive group here. And they actually beat Class 6, didn't they, Dave?
Yes, they did. That game. That was the 4-3 game. I remember us talking about that because it was 1-1 through like 5. And I asked you, I said, how many hits does Class 6 have? And I think they only had 5 at that time.
They had 3 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the best game of the day. There were some plays in there where you're just like, oh, he's not going to score. Oh, he is going to score. Oh no, he's not. He's out. The missing third base, almost running into third baseman, having to go back and tag the left fielder bobbling the ball, and he decides he's going to score anyway, and they throw him out the plate. It was like, oh my, that was a fun game. By the way, and Alex Alsop from St. Dominic was the MVP of that game. First team pitcher. And then another player who was selected but could not make it was Ahmad Muhammad from John Burroughs. He was going to be out of town, but he was selected, so I'm going to give him props because he made All State. And he would have been there if he wasn't going to be out of town. So
Very good.
Yeah, that I'm looking forward to these juniors and sophomores. I'm looking forward to seeing them next year in the senior All-Star game for sure, all the way through all these classes. So
Yeah,
it'll
I'm
be
gonna
fun.
give a little bit to the Class 6 guys. I would like to see you guys there. I mean, this is a cool event, man. We didn't see as many of the Class 6 guys there. Of course, Earl Beck, Evan Abbott. I love the Staley kids showing up. That was fantastic. We had, and then it was a lot of kids that, very, very good baseball players. Don't get me wrong, but I'd like to see, hey, this is what this is about. Represent your school, represent your state. And, and that's what I said earlier. I think college coaches can wait a moment, give these kids an opportunity to celebrate their high school career. I understand it's important. Don't get me wrong. I understand, but you can hurt yourself stepping out of an elevator, man. Come on. They're kids too, and sometimes they do stupid things that you don't even know that they're doing. Next to the pool, somebody decides to do a cannonball and hits the swimming board or the diving board, and I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
You
you still have to go live.
yeah, so that's my suggestion. I know it's tough, and I know there's a lot of people out there probably disagree with me. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. Let's celebrate these kids. Let's get them to the All-Star game and have some fun and
Yeah,
enjoy it, celebrate them, and move it down the road. Because hey, you get it once. I'd have loved to seen Alex Wheeler from Fort Zumwalt West. I don't know if he was there. Invite. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to leave it alone. But
right.
first team All-State. Love that. Alex Wheeler had a fantastic season for Fort Zumwalt West. Nails. Camden Lohman, Fort Zumwalt North. Here's another kid that is on the draft radar. He was invited to the MLB Combine. So that bodes well for you if you're invited to the Combine. Am I correct there, guys?
I would think so. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Cam Lohman we're going to probably see him in the MLB not too much longer. Love to see that. Ashton Nance pitched well for Blue Springs South. Shout out to Blue Springs South, state champions in Class 6, taking down Staley. Jake Thomas, second team All-State pitcher there. Brody Earlbeck, I know, got a utility because, Coach, that's usually kind of that thought process when he has such big-time pitching numbers, and then he's also doing it with the bat, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, obviously, he'd be the numbers he put up pitching wise, arguably the best pitcher in the state of Missouri. Obviously, those debates, but what he did off place field for him, and he did it at he hit it 2 hole. Not only did he have a great year on the mound, he obviously is a tremendous player. And I'm not sure what direction he's going to go. Whether it goes route where I assume it's going to be on the mound, but he's certainly a high level offensive and defensive player as well.
Absolutely. And he did say, you know, this was the last time he was at the All-Star. I'm going to get my swings in. He's going to be a PO at Iowa. We talked to him a little bit. Very
Right.
great conversation. But, you know, when you got a .25 ERA and you're playing at the level of competition Staley plays at, you can pitch.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't. We played Staley twice in our conference, and we didn't see him. We saw everybody but him. He played defense and wrecked us offensively too, and made some great plays at first base and in the outfield. So, yeah, they didn't even have to use him against us.
And not to mention, Brody Earlbeck, as Coach alluded to earlier in the show, is the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association Player of the Year for Class 6. So congratulations to Brody for another accolade there. He deserves it. Evan Abbott also from that Staley squad, well-deserved first team. Let's see. I'm looking for the Staley kids. I think there was,
Easton
Jake Thomas.
Felipe.
Easton Felipe, the catcher, first team All-State. Kind of shows you why they were like, 33-4, some ridiculous record like that.
Yeah. And Xander Paul, honorable mention outfield down there. He's a junior.
There you go.
Staley.
Yep, there it is. So Fort Zumwalt West, Carter Perry was an honorable mention utility, along with Brendan Pyle, first team. A lot of kids that play both ways. You're going to, you see those. Tyler Wood, they're from Lee Summit West. Sebastian Norman, the senior from Glendale. I think he's going to go on and do some pretty good things. Charlie Wortham, here's another young man, big time bat for DeSmet High School. He's headed to, man, that just popped out of my head because I had somebody else. Brian Gould from Class 4 from MICDS. He's headed to the military academy at West Point. So I want to give him a shout out. Brian Gould, one of the nice young men. Here's what I love about this character, and I want to come back to this because last year when MICDS made it to state, he was hurt. He had his arm he had the surgery. But I thought was fantastic, and this is what I loved about it. He was in there in the dugout talking, coaching, helping. His attitude was fantastic. Got a chance to talk to Brian about that. This young man didn't allow that to be a detriment to him. You showed the leadership. That's probably why he's going to West Point. Showed that leadership that's necessary for a team. And I have a lot of respect for that young man. Big shout out to Brian Gould. Good luck to you in your next endeavor there at West Point, buddy. So,
Brian, can I add something? Can I add something to that young man?
Yes.
Well, we had the opportunity to play MICDS up in St. Joe, and he not only was obviously he was a talent, you knew that, but you know, the way he even interacted throughout the game with it was like it, you know, when we was it and I will say that I instantly walked and run on. I'm not letting that guy beat us. And the fact of the matter that you spoke about going to West Point, like he does, he like Captain America. I mean, he is the guy that you know he does everything right. He looks like Captain America. I mean, he's a strong young man, and but he, you know, the way he interacted with our kids after the game, like, 'cause, you know, you obviously heard about him, and our players were kind of not, you know, they were not at all, but you know, they could tell he was a talent, and you know, anytime you're around other talented kids, like they a magnet towards. He's that kind of personality, and uh, he's going to go on and do great things. You know, his career in the Army and playing baseball and all that's obviously, he's got a bigger calling as well.
Absolutely. There's so many kids. We could talk probably forever about all these kids. If you want to see the all-state selections, Mr. Hicks, tell them where they can go and get this.
Go to MHSBCA.net and they go to rank. I believe it's not rankings. There's a tab on there where I think it may be all state, and the academic all state is on there, as well as the the baseball side of it as well. So
And
everything
always,
we do as an association is for promote the kids, and they're not just on the field but in the classroom as well.
and don't do what I do, because I texted Coach Ash and I said, "Is it? It's not up." And he says, "Yeah, it is. It's in player recognition. You go to the all-state teams, and you have to scroll down past the all-state academic all-state guys. I never get past that. I'm thinking, well, where's it at? Right? Oh, dang it, French. You got to scroll down, and then you'll see the all-state teams. I love that you guys put all the academic stuff first. It's the right way to go. And then you go down to the baseball stuff. You got to scroll down the page. The all-state teams are there. It's right there. 2025 all-state teams are available. Go check them out. We're going to put some stuff up. We'll have some stuff throughout the week celebrating these kids. And
Brian, also on that website, I'm not sure if they're up yet or not, but the team pictures and the MVP pictures, not just from this past Saturday's All-Star Games, but from years past. I think they go back to 2010, 2009, somewhere in there, team pictures. So, and I think the rosters are on there too, as well now. I don't know if they have them uploaded yet, but they're going to.
They are up. I'm looking at it right now. I can see the all-state pictures, All-Stars. That was from, I think, last year. No, that's this year. There it is, right there. Yep, so they're up. That's 2025. You got, yep. So the pictures are in place, Dave, just an FYI.
Oh, good. Thank you. And I know, hey, that's not professional photography there, because you can see some of those guys are not exactly centered, but I always told them, big, ugly guys in the back and short, good looking guys in the front. So some of them were trying to hide. They had fun with it.
I love it. No, it was a lot of fun. And the information's there if you want to reach out to these guys. Hey, if you're a fan of high school baseball, if you're a parent, whatnot, where can they follow? You guys are on the socials as well, correct?
Yes, I know we are on X or Twitter. Oh gosh, let me look it up. Missouri MHSBCA. And I'm not sure, Brian, do we have a Facebook page? I know that's probably more of a question for Eric Chick, or social media guy.
Yeah, it'd probably be Brian Harmon, but yeah, there is a Facebook page, and I believe we have an Instagram page too.
I don't know if you can see this.
You do, guys. It's right here on your if you go to the website, which you said MHSBCA.net, go to right on the homepage, you can get to the Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. There you go, Dave.
Yeah.
Everything's right there. Check it out. Go find out about what these coaches are doing. What's going on around. In fact, the all-state teams are released the information. Boom, you guys got it right up on your homepage, so you don't have to go scrolling for anything. Right there, everything's right here. Go check this out. It's the first time this year I went to the clinic that you guys held at Lake of the Ozarks. Met a lot of the coaches. It's where I was introduced to Coach Hix through Francis Howell head coach Tony Perkins, who Coach Perkins has been a longtime contributor for youth. In fact, guys, you know what? It was Coach Perkins who we did our very first high school coach interview. It was Coach Perkins out at his field at Francis Howell. He was very accommodating. I've known Coach Perkins for quite some time. I got a chance to his twins, Justin and Ryan, played with my son on a team I coached way back when they were 9 years old together, and I met him then. And he's always been a promoter of youth baseball, whether it's elementary, middle, or high school, and I appreciate that. And he's been instrumental in working with us here at Youth Baseball Midwest. So Coach Ash, I met him, it's been a few years ago now, hadn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, and he's been great. Appreciate him coming on the show. And guys, I appreciate you allowing us to Youth Baseball Midwest to be part of this event, what we were able to do, and I hope we can continue this relationship into the future, grow it, make it a big time piece of what is good about high school baseball, and to look forward to it in the future.
Well, thanks for doing that and promoting our not just our association, but the players. And I want to shout out to Coach Ash for hosting the Senior All-Stars for the last, how many ever years when we got run out of a place didn't get run out, but last minute, Coach Ash, come up and it's yours. I want it as long as you can do it. He does a fantastic job of hosting that. He has concession stands set up with, it uses it as a fundraiser, not just for his program, but for other programs in the school. So we love coming there. Hopefully we can continue to go there in a foreseeable future, and hopefully we continue with you, Mr. French, on coming broadcasting the games for us.
Absolutely. Coach, and it was a tough one too, because that rain on Saturday was brutal.
Man,
that was
it
always,
was.
That's my biggest fear always, rain.
Well,
Right.
It wasn't so much because it really hampered the play on the field or anything like that. It just there's a lot of construction around the school, and it was pushing all that mud down there, and it just created so much difficulties in that respect. It was just, but once we got to Saturday, it was beautiful. We played baseball, and I know it's not, once that got through, everything was good. And it is a great venue, folks. If you haven't been to Ashland, Missouri at Southern Boone High School, it is a great venue, Coach. We enjoyed a lot.
And go eat at Woody's.
Well, saying that, we're actually, this next summer, we're actually redoing the perimeter of the festival. We're looking at adding concessions and bathrooms and gender experience with concrete, and all the gravel and all this stuff's going to get taken out. So it should be a better experience in the future. So, but again, I appreciate MHSBC for allowing me to host that, and we'll continue to do it as long as they want me to do it. So
I love it. Gentlemen, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to come on the show. You're welcome back anytime. Let's continue to talk baseball. We'll be in touch, but thank you very much for your time.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Folks, if you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button. Hit that dinger next to it. It's not a home run, but it sure is notifications for upcoming episodes just like this, where we're talking about youth baseball across the state, whether it's elementary, middle, or high school. We've got you covered here at Youth Baseball Midwest. Thanks again to everybody for watching. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, go ahead and throw some strikes. I'm sure the coaches here would tell you they would appreciate that a lot. And all you hitters, it's a simple game. You just got to hit them where they ain't. We'll see y'all next time.